Suwanti hotu Yani debutani samagatani Bummani vayani va antalinki Tatagatan deva manunsa pujitan Sangang namansama Suwanti hotu Itina sanca vanjina hotu te jaya mangalam Itina sanca vanjina hotu te jaya mangalam Itina sanca vanjina hotu te jaya mangalam Yani debutani samagatani Bummani vayani va antalinke Sambheva bhuta sumana bhavantu Atopi sankanca sunantu bhasitam Tasmahi bhutani samita sambhe Mentang karota manusia pajaya Diwacaranto caharanti baling Tasmaini rangkata ampamanta Yang kinci bintang idawahorang wasanggi suayang ratanang panitang Nano samang anti tatagatena idampi bunde ratanang panitang Itina sancena suwanti hotu Khayang viragang amatang panitang Yadanjaka sankhya muni samahito Natena dhammena samanti kinci Idampi dhamme ratanang panitang Itina sancena suwanti hotu Yang bunda sento parivanna isucing samadhimanantarikannya mau Samadhinatena samona vinjati idampi dhamme ratanang panitang Itina sancena suwanti hotu Ye punggala anta satam pasanta cantani etani yugani onti Tedang kiniya sugatan sasavakai Te sudinnani mahampalani Idampi sanghe ratanang panitang Itina sancena suwanti hotu Ye sumpayunta manasa dalhena Ningkamino gotama sasanami Te panti panta amatang vigaiha Landa mudanim buting bunjamana Idampi sanghe ratanang panitang tena sanchena suvanti hotu yatinda kilo pataving sitosya chatum vivate asampakampiyo tatupamang sampurisang vadami yo ariya sanchani avinca pansati idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena sanchena suvanti hotu ye ariya sanchani vibhavayanti gambhira panyena sudesitani kincapi te honti pusampamantana te bhavang antamang aniyanti idampi sanghe ratanang panitang etena sanchena suvanti hotu sahavansa dansana sampadaya tayan sudamma jahita bhavanti sankaya dinti vichikincitanca
No? Nobody?
Yeah. Yes, now.
KS, can you hear me? Okay. Irene, can you hear? Catherine? Okay, everybody, Nora? Okay, good. All right. So let us start. I kept talking to you and nobody responded. Yeah, okay, you're here now. All right. So let us start a little bit earlier today. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Well, welcome back, all of you, and welcome back me. So we're still studying this book, what the Buddha taught. I jumped one chapter, I skipped one chapter about anatta. To chapter 7, meditation on meditation or mental culture. So, anybody has anything to say about this chapter first before I start, or before we actually start exchanging our thoughts on this chapter? You should all have a lot of things to talk about in this chapter, because you have all been meditating, most of you have been meditating for a long time. It's really not much on this chapter, but there can be a lot also if you look at it in details. Anybody has anything to say about this chapter, what they feel about this chapter? Okay, can you go and get a mic? Is there a microphone? Thank you.
Good evening, Sifu. Good evening, everyone.
Risha.
I just wanted to point out something that I found really useful. It's simple, but it's useful, and it was reinforced throughout the chapter. It's on page 72 for the book I'm in. And the one line that I underlined was, you should forget yourself completely and lose yourself in what you do. And they talk about that in meditation as well. And for me, that's always been the biggest challenge, is my mind wants to tell me what to do during the meditation. It wants to repeat the instructions that I have learned, and it wants to judge how I'm doing. And that losing yourself and quietening that self, that sense of self, is so hard, but so useful. That's when I feel you can make progress. If there's any small progress, is that losing that self.
Yeah, it's on the paragraph 4, the fifth line. It says you should forget yourself completely and lose yourself in spoiled.
In what you do.
Oh no. And lose yourself in what you do. Yeah, the moment a speaker becomes self-conscious and thinks I'm addressing an audience, his speech is disturbed and his train of thoughts broken. 72, paragraph 4, line 4, line 3. Or line 4.
But the
line
idea.
5. No, line 6. Line 6. Line 6, paragraph 4. The paragraph starting with mindfulness or awareness, and then is line 6. You should forget yourself completely. You have the same copy as I do? Yeah. You should forget yourself completely and lose yourself in what you do. The moment a speaker becomes self-conscious and thinks I'm addressing an audience or whatever, then his speech is disturbed and his train of thoughts are broken. But when he forgets himself in his speech, in his subject, then he is at his best. He speaks well and explains things clearly. You all agree with this? Yes. Why? Huh? Experience, okay. then can you share some of your experience on this? Anybody who said yes?
Well, when I was a Tai Chi instructor, I'm actually
Giving you a mic.
I was a Tai Chi instructor for 20 years, and I'm not very good at public speaking.
Yeah.
And so if I don't lose myself in it, then I will get self-conscious.
And then you lose your Tai Chi also, right?
Yeah, and I lose my
You lose the forms.
So I just let my love for Tai Chi come out and not worry about me.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. Great. Anybody else? Who said yes just now? Sorry.
I didn't, but I believe it was Dosen C that said yes.
Doesn't see the yes was very loud.
You betray me.
You be That's what friends are
Yeah.
for.
Yeah, thank you, Laurie. Yeah, from my understanding is there's a mind and there's also an action. The mind and the action come together, become one. So that's you forget yourself, and there's only one thing you to do. So that's make it happen.
Ah, I see. The mind and the self. Good.
No, I didn't.
She didn't say yes. Anybody else? Anybody else from Zoom saying any? Oh, now, okay.
You say yes now. I do say yes now. It wasn't that particular one. It was actually the last sentence that really resonated, and I went, "Oh yeah, I get this now." All great work, artistic, poetic, intellectual, or spiritual, is produced at those moments when its creators are lost completely in their actions, when they forget themselves altogether and are free from self-consciousness. Yeah. So that's when I went, oh yeah, I agree
Yeah,
with this.
you agree?
I agree.
Any experience?
Well, as a teacher, I see kids do that all the time,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
They do it far more easily than adults do usually.
Why? What do you think? Why?
They haven't learned not to.
Ah, right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody else? I totally agree with that. When we start to putting our big self into anything that we do, that big ego becomes so amplified, excessive, and it actually becomes a hindrance rather than an advantage. So with meditation, when you start to try to identify anything during your meditative experience, then you're actually starting to go the wrong way. One question I want to ask you is, when you meditate, I know now you appear as a woman, you appear as a man to me or to yourself. But when you meditate, is there gender? Yeah. Why? I don't know. Did you feel that you have a gender there? Did you feel that you are a woman meditating?
I think we're just human.
Okay, good. So there is no gender. At that moment, doesn't need to be. Exactly, doesn't need to be. That's the point. That's the time that when you loses that gender identity. So any attachment to that gender identity would be gone at that moment when you are meditating, when you're absorbing yourself, when the mind is absorbed into the practice, you lose that gender identity. And that's the self, isn't it? we actually, there is a very strong self in that identity, isn't it? Identity of, oh, I am a woman. Oh, big deal now, isn't it? Nowadays, especially nowadays, big deal about women. Women, being so successful, and women being have so much power, or in status, and actually, in many ways, seems that women are really going forward right now. And then you would think, oh, wow. No, I don't like to lose that identity. I don't like to lose that identity. But when doing meditation, you do actually lose that identity.
Would you not also lose your identity to other things that you might be?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You might also lose your identity to your job or your career or your education or
exactly.
status in society kind of thing.
Yeah, that's, but the gender is just an example that I raised. Yeah, you do. When you are really meditating and not using the meditation to sort of strengthen the identity, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so.
But to walk away, that's what, I mean, I'm very new to all of this, but I think that's kind of what I've been enjoying, is to just
be with it.
To just exist and
exactly.
worry about all of those other things.
Exactly, yeah. That's good. That's good. That's why you can find joy from meditation and peace, because you start to let go of things. You start to let go of ideas. You start to let go of yourself.
Your attachment to things.
Exactly. That's what meditation is really for. Okay, get the mic. Hold the mic, Laurie. Yeah, great. Anybody from Zoom? Anything? No? Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Varsha, sharing a beautiful line. Anybody else to share any lines that you think is actually very inspiring? Can you mute that? The one. Can you mute that? Grimace. Mute him. Anybody else have any things to share about this chapter? Have you read the chapter? That's the thing. Have you read it? I have given you 1 week to read it. It's only how many pages? 67 to 75. No? You have any questions about this chapter? Oh, Laurie.
On 75, right at the bottom, it says traditionally 40 in number, subjects of meditation. And
traditionally 40 in number subjects. There are many other subjects as traditionally 40 in number. Among the mentions should be made particular of the 4 sublime states. Yeah. 40? You want me to tell you the 40?
Well, sorry, I was just surprised there was 40.
Oh, easily.
Wow.
Easily.
Okay.
The last paragraph and the second line. Apart from those we have discussed here, there are many other subjects of meditation, traditionally 40 in number, among which mention should be made particular of the 4 sublime states. That is a Brahma Vihara. If you go into, what do you call this? The back, is that the index or? Thank you. Commentary? No. What do you call this? Selected texts. Selected texts. Okay. Page 109. The foundations of mindfulness, the presence of mindfulness, and Satipatthana Sutta. So 109. So this is actually a very, shouldn't say famous, a very often used sutta to talk about, to teach meditation, to talk about meditations. Liz, you want a book?
I do need a book.
You do?
I haven't read it yet.
No, that's okay. We have more books to lend to you. Yeah. Lynn, you want a book?
I have the big.
No, you can borrow one if you want to read it now. You just return it afterwards. If you don't have it, you can take it home. If you have one, don't just leave it at the end of the class. So in here, the Satipatthana Sutta is actually a very well-versed teaching on meditations. And Satipatthana, that means the 4 parts of meditation. So the first part is about the body. And then with the body, there is the breath, right? The 110, page 110. Have you? You probably haven't read it because I didn't ask you to read this, but you can go back. You can go back and read it. So 110. The first thing about the first thing on Satipatthana. There are 4 parts: the body, the feelings, the mind, and the Dharma. The 4 parts, and in these 4 parts, there are many different meditation techniques, or what you call just now here, subjects of meditation. Okay, so the first is the breath, and then if you go into page 111, 111, repulsiveness of the body, there are 32 parts.
Yes, I see that now.
Okay? Yeah. So there's 32 parts there already.
Very repulsive, yes.
Yeah, very repulsive. Yeah, so 32 parts, but here, when you count, there are only 31 parts. But the body is a big part. The whole body is a part. And then covering the body is one part, the skin is a part, and the hair is a part, and the hair of the body is a part, and the nails is a part. So when you start from that repulsiveness of the body, there are in this body hair of the head. So from there all the way to at the end is urine. So there are 31 parts, plus the body itself is 32 parts. So 32 parts to observe, to meditate on. It's actually, it's actually a very good practice to people who are so much attached to the body. It's actually a very, very good practice, okay? So, and then the next one is the material elements. You see the earth, the last paragraph, the element of earth, the element of water, the element of fire, the element of wind. So you can actually observe these 4 elements in your body. Also, you can actually use any one of these elements as a meditative object. Okay, so the element of earth, so what is earth element? Anybody here? Earth element in the body. Guess, Odette. Bones, good. Yeah. Yeah. And skin. And flesh. Right? Those are all the earth element. Okay? So, and then the water element, you know what that is? The tears, the sweat, the wetness. Yeah, exactly. And what does it do? The wetness, what does it do? Exactly. And it holds cohesive. It holds the flesh, it holds the earth element together. Just like cement, right? The concrete, you call it concrete, and then you add water to it, it coagulates, it forms, it solidifies, right? And when the concrete solidifies, it forms, it gives out heat, isn't it? Right? Huh? Fire, yeah, that's the fire. And so in the winter, if you want to pour concrete, you need to have a blanket to cover it up so that it cures. Because I built this, I knew. In the deep winter, we were pouring all these posts, these big posts here. And I never knew that you have to cover the concrete posts. And the project manager were putting all these tops on, like blankets, thick blankets, and they all look like protectors. Remember? And I asked the project manager, I said, Gert, why did you have to put clothes on them? Because they are cold. You want to keep them warm so that they will cure and you will have a strong post. I said, oh, is that right? Yeah, keep the heat inside. So sometimes when you put newly peeled vegetables, peels or vegetables into the bucket and cover it, once you open it again, you feel heat coming out, right? Fire element. And of course, there is wind element. So what is wind? The breath. And the air, when you blurb, when you pass air, or when your stomach making blah, 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 you feel so embarrassed when you sit. Sorry, you don't have to feel embarrassed. That's a natural phenomenon. You eat too much or you are hungry. It doesn't matter. So that's some elements to meditate on. Okay? Go on to the next page. Go on to the next page, you look at the 9 cemeteric objects. Of course, these are the external to us, but it's also a meditative a tool, subjects of meditation. And the first one is you see a dead body at the cemetery, being thrown into the cemetery. You know, in the old days, now in some parts of the world, they still do this. And they just leave the body there for the vultures, for the birds to come and feed on, especially in Tibet. Okay, and also in the Southeast Asia, they let the body rot outside. And a lot of monks, I don't know whether nuns, no, they don't have fully ordained nuns, but I think maybe the shramaneras, the novices, would also do cemetery meditation too. So, and then the second one is they start to observe how the vultures, how the birds actually feed on those bodies. And then the third subject is when a bhikkhu sees the body thrown onto the cemetery ground and reduced to a skeleton, but still with flesh and blood attached to it. And then the fourth one is there's no more flesh, but there's still blood. The fifth one is there's no flesh, no blood. Can you imagine here? Yeah, right? Okay. And then the next one is the bones become disconnected. Okay, so the bones are also all over the place. And because of the wind and the rain and the sun, the bones become like bleached. And then the next step is it becomes just a pile of bones. And then the last one is the bones become ash. Like through, you can. If you bury a bird and then you take it out later on, you probably see a whole skeleton there. But if you put it back or you just leave it there, if Goldie doesn't go and peck on it, then it will eventually in years time it will disintegrate to a pile ash. You see, these are all the subjects of meditation, right? And then go into the next part is the second part, the second foundations, is the feeling part. The feeling, then there is a pleasant feeling, there is an unpleasant feeling, there is a neither pleasant nor unpleasant feeling. You see, it's already 3 over there. And then go into the mind, then the mind is a little bit more straightforward, but it's complicated. Straightforward but complicated because the mind is so complicated, and sometimes we make it more complicated. So when the mind becomes angry, it's an angry mind. When the mind becomes greedy, it's a greedy mind. So there's so much to observe also on the mind, and also remember the 52 mental states, right? And then the mental objects. So those sense pleasure, those doubt, restlessness, anger, and torpor, and all that. So, and those mental objects include 5 aggregates, and then the 6 sense doors, and also when you have actually done the 16 steps, you know the 7 factors of enlightenment. You see, there's more than 40.
Yeah, I just never thought of it.
Yeah, so it's more than 40. But, you know, having that many doesn't mean that we need to actually practice on that many, because some of them you may resonate with it, some of them you may not resonate with it. So why spend time on those? But you could actually try some of these. The 32 parts are actually very helpful for people who are very attached to the beauty of their body. And also the symmetry. The symmetry part is also attached to this physical being. The physical existence, the symmetry part actually is very, very useful for people who have so much lust, especially for sensual pleasures of the body. So in the old days, during the Buddha days, or during, you know, even nowadays, some teachers do ask students to do the symmetry meditation, or to do the 32 parts meditation. Because once you start to actually go into observing the 32 parts, like the urine and the stool and all that, you say yuck, right? The tears and the grease is not too much offensive. But, you know, the nasal mucus, the phlegm, and the pus, I remember the pus, the blood myself, because it could be very offensive, you know. I remember when I used to work, and I didn't know about these 32 parts yet. Once I was trying to clean out one very bad diabetic sore in a very young man. It's big sore on the bottom of the feet, or swollen, and I was all geared up, mask and head and everything, all geared up for PPE. But still, when I just open it, all the pus and the blood all over me and my forehead and everything. It was, I still remember it. At that time, it was, you are in that profession, you are used to it. But when I read this, I said, oh, wow. When I read that way back then, I said, oh, well, yeah, I know how how gross that is. Yeah, it's not pleasant. So, you tend to start to understand a little bit more about your own existence, and you say, oh, this is, why am I attached to this? This will age, this will change, and this will eventually die. Why am I so attached to it? Because of impermanence? But why am I attached to it? Why am I so attached to it? Why am I? Ego? Okay. Okay. Why do you have an ego? Yeah, why do you attach? Huh? Birth rate? I don't understand that.
The ego's a birthright.
Ah.
The right to be alive is.
Oh, the birthright. Oh, I thought birth rate. Birthright. Why do you have birthright? Why? Why are you attaching? Yeah, what is the word for that? We are ignorant. You're ignorant. You don't understand. You don't understand. Even though you understand the words, you don't understand experientially. Right? You don't understand experientially. And only when you experience it yourself and say, yes. But very soon, out of sight, out of mind. Forget, forgot, and forgotten. Right? And that's it. You start all over again.
But not quite as bad.
Oh, really? Hopefully, yeah, or that's it, right? Hopefully. Sometimes it could be bad. Sometimes it could be worse. And then you say, darn, I'm going backward. Come on. Run again. Start running again. Start. Hurry, hurry. Work hard, work hard. But that's all we can do. Is just keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. Until one day we become a little bit better. A little bit better. And then we start to improve a little bit. And then we start to keep doing it, and a little bit better. That's how we improve. Otherwise, it's very difficult. Yeah. So, yeah. Great. So now, clear up your questions. So make sure you mark it down. Don't ask me again next time. But do go home and read this chapter on the Satipatthana. Even though it's very difficult to understand some parts of it, but it's a very interesting chapter. It's a very interesting sutta, and it's actually a very, very useful teaching for meditators. Okay, read this. You can read this every day as a practice. Read it as a practice. So you don't have to read this, understand them right away. It's impossible, because if you don't practice, you're only understanding it on the literal level. You don't really actually understand it on the experiential level. But if you couple it with the daily practice of meditation, then when you constantly read it, someday you say, now I understand what does it mean there? That's why. Don't worry about not understanding them, but keep reading it. You will understand it a little bit more and more. Okay, so that is the Satipatthana. Anybody else? Anything? There is one part which I really like. It's way at the front, page 67. And it's the second paragraph. The third line It is unfortunate that hardly any other section of the Buddha's teaching is so much misunderstood as meditation, both by Buddhists and non-Buddhists. The moment the word meditation is mentioned, one thinks of an escape from the daily activity of life, assuming a particular posture like a statue in a cave, blah, 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 blah. Okay, those are the results of misunderstanding. But that particular line, it is unfortunate that hardly any other section of the Buddha's teaching is so much misunderstood as meditation. Or in other words, it said, is meditation is so much misunderstood in the Buddhist and the non-Buddhist world. If you're interested, I can actually ask Eva to send you this.
I found two, sorry.
Oh, you found two.
I couldn't remember which one was correct.
No, not this one. This is too big. I would ask Eva to send you this. It could be this. Can't remember. You see, OH. With glasses, you cannot read clearly. Without glasses, you cannot read clearly. Oops. You share the same feelings? Okay. So, actually, no. No, not this one. Oh, yes, I think this one. It could be this one. He's actually talking about the secular Buddhism. No, it's talking about actually secular meditation. No, not this one. Not this one. Sorry. Never mind. I'll find it. I'll let you know. It's talking about meditation, especially nowadays. You see, meditation is very popular, right? In the last 15 years or so, meditation has gone from a religious perspective, it's a religious thing, to a trendy thing, isn't it? And it started from I need to use the right word. New Age. Yeah. New Age, and also in the medical field, right? Medical field, and because in the medical field, it becomes so popular that they use this as a tool to help people to de-stress, as a tool to help people to develop, as a tool for cognitive therapy. So those workshops become very popular because the people who promote them are very capable of promoting, right? Yeah, and then because they have very good status in the world, in today's world, or in medicine, so people look up to them, and it's not wrong. There's nothing wrong with it, and actually, I think it's a good thing that they use it. But one thing that they missing is they missing such a big part of the Buddha's teachings in them. They only take this part out, and they miss the big part. The theories, or the philosophies, or the Buddha's teachings, the literal Buddha's teachings, are there not for academic use, are there to support a practitioner to understand their own experience in their practice. And like Satipatthana, the book on Satipatthana is helping a practitioner to understand their own experience at certain state. So you cannot actually take that literal part away. And Bhikkhu Bodhi wrote a wonderful article on this. He said, nowadays the secular practice actually is divorcing from the Buddha teachings. They divorce. Like the practical part and the theoretical part. Actually, a lot of people, they are just taking a little part of it to practice. But they divorce themselves from the literal part of the teachings, the theories, the philosophies. So, in the Mahayana teachings, or the Northern tradition, that means the passed down, that the teachings came from India, traveled to China, and because that's the northern part of the continent, of the whole world, it started from there, and that's why it's called Northern tradition. And the Southern tradition is where, like the Southeast Asia part, like the Burma, Thailand, is called the Southern part. But one other way to say that is the Mahayana is the Northern tradition, and the Theravadan is the Southern tradition. But with Maha and Tara, Maha, that means big, Tara, that means small. So then there's a duality. That's why I don't like it. I rather like a Northern tradition and a Southern tradition. Actually depicted the historical transmission of the Buddhist teachings from India or from Nepal, India to the other parts of the world. So in the Northern tradition, there is a saying. It says, the practice and the theoretical understanding has to go hand in hand. That's why me, Yin Kit, Sister Jessie, loves people to share about their understanding on the teachings. It's not that I love to teach. No, I don't like to teach at all. I really don't like to teach. Don't laugh, it's true. I like to share. I like to share my experience, and I like you to share your experience too. Because we have a very different, we come from a very different culture, and the way we understand the teachings and the way we were brought up are very different. And so if we are willing to share, we would actually, see a lot more different perspective on, and also understand the differences. Oh, wow, I don't see it this way. Oh, they do see it from that point of view. How? Why would that be? Then you will start to explore more about the background and understand more about each other cultures and history and whatnot. So here really there is so much misunderstanding about the word meditation when people talk about meditation. And a lot of times people think that, oh, meditation is really an escape. I have seen people, escaping really by constantly going into meditation retreats or even stay long time in a meditation center, which is not a bad thing if you are really there to learn and serve and grow, but not to escape. And if you want to find a refuge place, Better to be a monk or a nun than hiding or escaping into a meditation center. Yeah, it's true. So meditation is not just for removing stress, not just for de-stress, and not just for cognitive therapy, and not just for medicinal or psychological therapy. So it's actually a question. It's a way for us to understand how we exist and the nature of this, the nature of this existence, and the nature of all existences around us, including relationships, including our physical body and our mental body, and including everything else around us, inanimate. The more we understand, the more we start to see, hopefully the more we will be able to let go, hopefully. I say hopefully because some people are really not quite objective, and even though they read a lot of teachings, but they don't know how to actually implement the teachings and how to implement their meditative experience into their daily life. Or sometimes they encounter a lot of difficulties mentally, but they do not become aware that they have a lot of mental defilements. And those mental defilements could be very blindfolding. Okay? And when one is blindfolded, that means one is overwhelmed, one is full of ignorance. And when one is ignorant, one doesn't see anything. One doesn't hear anything. And when one doesn't see the truth, one doesn't hear the truth, one is so much immersed into his or her defilements, and that anything that is against his or her thought would be like wrong, would be nope, this is wrong, nope, you're wrong. And that could really strengthen, that could really multiply the thickness, the defilements more and more, rather than helping one to actually to eradicate more and more defilements. So make sure that we try to actually implement and we try to understand these teachings in our daily life rather than just theoretically. Okay? All right. So, anybody else have anything about this chapter? Pretty quiet. Is it here? Okay, I would recommend a book for you to read. Because this book, what the Buddha taught was written in the 50s, I think. When it was first published, 1959, in the 50s, so it's like 55 years old. This book is 55 years old. So, this great book, really, is a great book. I want to go back to this also. Understand this big word. It's a very big word, and it's a very good word. It's a very, very important word. Is on page 67. In the title, it's called Bhavana. Why do you smile?
My cousin's name is.
Oh, is he Bhavana?
Yeah, she is.
Oh, she is?
She's quite an amazing person.
Ah, in India?
Yeah.
Ah,
Anyway, that's what she meant.
wow. So, Ursha, give her the mic. So, you can give your understanding about the word bhavana. Since your cousin's name is Bhavana, you should really know the definition of bhavana. Bhavana is a Pali word, okay? It's an ancient Indian language, yeah.
Okay, I don't really understand the word except for what I just read. I just know from what I read that it's cultivation.
Yes,
Yeah, but it's not just cultivation. It's more of a spiritual cultivation.
spiritual cultivation,
Yeah.
spiritual development, spiritual progress, yes. Good.
Yeah.
Your cousin is not disappointed
No.
because you know the meaning of her name.
And she matches her name. She's quite a person.
Oh,
so,
wow,
yeah.
wonderful, great. So this is actually very important. This word is actually a cultivation. Meditation is a cultivation. So as a farmer, Versha, Do Yan Si, Tan Si Fu, as a farmer, you know how important, Maria Jose, even though you are very inexperienced farmer, bhavana, cultivation, is so important. You know, you understand from farming, cultivation of the land entails so much work, right? Not just mowing, not just like, what do you call that? Plowing. Even plowing entails a lot of bhavana. How you plow, how you till the land, how you aerate it, right? And when should you put different kind of seedling into the dirt? That is a bhavana. And after you have put them in, how you look after them is a bhavana. So, the Buddhist teaching is not separated, it's not separated from our real life. It's so realistic. You can put it in any aspect of life. For example, if some of you have a particular career, say real estate, bhavana, you need to cultivate your skills in presenting the estate, the house, the condo to people. If you say, you're going to have a look, this is the window and this is the lights, and it's quite a nice house and all that. Nobody is interested in your house. Nobody is interested in your real estate, right? And if you present it like if you do some prep work, good prep work, and you present yourself very friendly and very helpful, people will listen to you. I have a real estate friend. We actually we started off as she was our real estate agent. But we have been friends for 28 years now. 28 years. And we become good friends. Why? Because I see that she is very honest. She's very helpful. And she is very direct. And she's very patient and very diligent. And these are the wonderful qualities that she has been cultivating throughout her career. And I just admire those qualities, because if you need to be with a good relationship with any other human being, you need to be very honest, very openly honest. And that is a very difficult thing to do. Very difficult. So that's why I draw your attention to this word, bhavana. Yeah. And make sure that we do bhavana. Okay, it's cultivation. And without cultivation, our field would be too sterile. But with good cultivation, our field would become very fertile and being able to bring you a lot of fruits and vegetables, right? Okay, so I am recommending this book. Oh, free copies, e-copies. Mindfulness in Plain English. There is Chinese too. If you go onto the web, you will look it up. There is actually free copy, but I have had this for over many years. When was this published? 2002, yeah. I probably have it since 2004. This is actually a very simple book about meditation, mindfulness in plain English. And it is actually by Bhante Walpola Rahula, a very, very good, a very wonderful practitioner living in the States. Wonderful, wonderful book. Simple, straightforward, a lot of good instructions in there, a lot of good tips in there, and a lot of good explanations in there. And then there is one chapter that I would, if you would love to read, I would ask you to read the chapter on the practice. Okay, it's chapter 5 on the practice, and as I always say, if you do not find it resonate with you, don't worry. Keep reading it and keep skimming through it, and you will find some useful information. And for those parts that you don't resonate with, doesn't matter. You just put it aside. It doesn't matter. And also there is one chapter, chapter 4, is the attitude of meditation. It's actually very, very, very useful. And I use this chapter to teach a lot during meditation retreats because it teaches you your attitude on how to actually meditate. And that actually clears up a lot of misunderstanding about meditation. And for example, the first about meditation, the attitude of meditation is don't expect anything. Just sit back and see what happens. And it is so difficult to do. And just like exactly what Versha said, right? In what Versha just shared is you just don't do anything. You just absorb, allow yourself to disappear. And that's exactly what it says here. So when somebody is talking about the truth, and you will see these words appear in different forms everywhere, right? And so it says the first is don't expect anything. And the second is do not strain yourself. A lot of times when we meditate, we do strain ourselves a lot. I have seen so many students trying to, because I keep saying, keep your body upright, relax and upright. They will say, can I breathe? Okay, breathe. And then that's straining yourself, right? And it is not proper. And that is not the right way. Why did you strain yourself? Because you expect something. You expect to get something, okay? And don't rush. Don't rush. I have seen students rushing. Okay? Oh, this is a wonderful meditation course. Okay, okay. Mom or boss, I'm going to quit. I'm going to meditation. Okay. 1 10-day, 2 10 days, 3 10 days, 4 10 days, 5 10 days. Rush. Okay. Then I go to sit at 20 days. I go to sit 30 days, or 45 days, 60 days. Rush, 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 rush. It's hardly equipped yet. And when you rush, where are you going to get to? You're hardly equipped. And when you rush, you're not getting anywhere. All you start to accumulate is expectation, expectation, expectation. I want this, I want this, I want this. So don't rush. And you want me to tell you the other parts? Don't cling to anything and don't reject anything. It's so difficult too, right? Meditation is not supposed to be like this. Meditation is supposed to be like this. No, it's not right. It says, don't cling to anything, don't reject anything. Just let come what it comes and accommodate yourself to that, which is letting go. And then, the next thing is let go. Loosen up and relax. Once you start to loosen up, everything, you will experience things so differently. When you're so tense, how can you observe your natural breath? The breath becomes a natural already. When you start like this, the breath becomes so tense. So accept everything that arises, so difficult. And be gentle with yourself, so difficult. I see students beating themselves up, not really beating themselves up, but really beating themselves up so much, so badly during a meditation course, or say, Don, you fall asleep and you wander off too much. It's too much pain here and there. And you try to what? You try to get rid of the pain. You try to get rid of the discomfort. You try to get rid of this. You try to get rid of that. You're not going anywhere. You're actually making it worse. I had a student. I had quite a few students actually going through this kind of experience. They start to shake during meditation. And a lot of times I will ask them to come to see me during noon interview, even though they have not signed up. I'll ask them to come. I said, how's your meditation going? And they would say, it's going well. I said, going well? So tell me about your experience. And they would start, making such a big story about the meditation. Nothing that I wanted to hear. And then I would start to ask, okay, how does your body feel? He said, oh, it starts to shake. It starts to move. It starts to go like this and like this and like this. I said, yeah. So why? He said, I don't know why. When did it start? Oh, it started a long time ago. I said, oh, have you tried to stop it? Oh, I have tried to stop it. Intentionally stopping it. But next minute, it starts again. I said, oh, okay. I said, do you start to ask yourself what happens? No. Did you start to ask yourself, are you enjoying it? No, I don't enjoy it. No, I don't like it. No? Alive again. It's too easy. This is too easy. So, so a lot of times they didn't believe that. They actually enjoying that shaking. And I said, no, just go and check it out. And check it out at that moment of shaking. Did you enjoy it? Do you enjoy it? Does it bring a relief? Does it bring a pleasant feeling? You don't have to intentionally stop it. You don't. All you have to do is just observe and feel, and it will stop by itself. I'm almost 100% successful. Except one student. She wouldn't believe. She wouldn't try, but that's okay. That is her thing, you know. I think that was almost 12 years ago. I was teaching in Toronto, and one student was shaking like that. She wasn't shaking much, but I noticed that she was shaking, and she knew that she was shaking. And she just said, "Oh no, I cannot stop it." I said, I'm not asking you to stop. I'm asking you to observe and investigate your own mind. When you start to shake, how does it feel and what is the mind up to? That's all I want you to observe. Once you start to actually observe your mind, it will stop. She doesn't believe. I think she doesn't want it to stop because it's a good feeling. It's kind of like relieving and kind of like rocking back and forth and, you know, going this and that, you know. It's kind of fun, isn't it? It's just like dancing. Yeah, yeah. But sometimes they don't just rock back and forth, they go like this. Oh, yeah. Oh, all the way to touch their knees and then come back. You think that they're bowing to you, they are not. Yes, but you know, but anyway, investigate yourself. The eighth one is it's very important to investigate yourself and view all problems and as challenges. I don't quite agree with these words. View all problems as challenges. I would say view all problems and challenges as opportunities. Okay, and do not ponder, is said. And don't dwell upon contrast. That means do not compare. So this is actually a very good book to read. And if you call yourself a meditator, I would strongly, or you want to call yourself a potential meditator, I would strongly recommend you to read this book, free book, free online book. If you want a paper copy, you can order it from anywhere. And there is actually a Chinese translation. Huh? Yep. It may be a different cover now. I don't know. Is it a different cover now?
It is, and Docenti actually already found an English and Chinese PDFs and they're in the WhatsApp.
Oh, wow. Okay, good. Yeah, Chinese, yeah. It's actually been translated very well. The Chinese translation, I also have read it. It's actually a very, very good translation. So read this, and then hopefully you will be able to actually get some benefit from it. Okay, so make sure we use meditation to develop wonderful qualities we call noble qualities, rather than arrogance. Oh, I am a meditator. No, nothing like that, okay? No, a meditator should be very humble and don't show off. Don't need to show off. And in here, in this book, it says there are Actually, the goal of meditation is page 50, is there are 5 elements in the goal. It's actually also stated in the Satipatthana Sutta. Is one of the very important is the purification of mind. And when talking about the purification of mind, some of you may have heard this story, but most of you, I don't think you have heard it because you don't come to the Sunday half-day meditation. So you probably didn't hear this story that I actually share with them. Is one of the inmates that I do a one-on-one counseling with. When I first started counseling with him, he shared with me that he was experiencing so much pain on the shoulders, in the neck, and all the way travel up to the head, and caused such a big migraine, constant migraine. And so he tried to find way to relieve. Also ways to relieve, but it just didn't work. So when I started the one-on-one counseling with him, he told me about this pain, and this pain here all the way on the back of the shoulders, scapula, the neck, the head, all the way to this whole part of the head. So when I started with him, I said, why don't we start with meditation first? After we had a very serious talk about his crime, so why didn't we just start this meditation? So we started off because he has been meditating with us for a little while, and but he is very serious about meditation. Good thing that he's very serious about meditation. So he knows the advantages, he knows what he gets from it. So we started meditating, and so throughout that meditation, I could see that his face was very tense, and I knew that he was going through difficulties around this area. But there's nothing I can do. I cannot say, let me take it out. No way, right? So all I could do is actually help him to observe the difficult sensation that he was experiencing. And it's funny enough, I didn't actually start off with the physical sensation. I actually started off with the mental part, asking him to, go back to actually go into his mental state and arouse some of the old past memories of with his mother, with his family and all that. And once we touch on that, actually the pain started to escalate a lot, and it could show on his face. And so I knew it was a mental difficulty that actually manifested physically. So gradually, we started to address that more and more. And now, just last Friday, I brought up the family again, and I looked at his face. When I was guiding him, it's nothing. It didn't show anything. It didn't show any pain, didn't show any strain, it didn't show any stress. Normally, when he first started, he was always like this. It's like frowned, and this was so tense. And now so relaxed, and after meditation, I always ask him, how did you feel? And he said, wow, I thought it was just 10 minutes. I said, no, 25 minutes we meditated for. He said, really? I thought it was just 10 minutes. I felt so light, and even though when you brought the family up, even though I miss my mom, even though I miss my family, when you brought it up, there was no difficulty in the body. Here, there's no difficulty at all. He said it hasn't come back for a long time. So the migraine, the pain here, the migraine seems to have disappeared. I said, but I want him. I said, no, it may come back. It may come back very, very bad. So just be prepared. So physical pains, physical difficulties sometimes are inevitable, but it's just that how we need to see how we deal with it. And meditation is one way for us to learn how to deal with that difficult physical sensation. All right? Okay? So, this book, finished, except the anatta part, which I really don't have any interest to talk about because it's so but we could discuss with it in another format. So I'm going to ask you something. I want to change the format of this Dharma sharing because it's really not sharing enough. I really want to go back to the original intention that I wanted for Dharma sharing is really sharing, not me talking all the time, discussion. So I want to ask whether you want to do it in a group like this. I'm not going to sit high. I'm going to sit on chairs like you, or we can just sit outside in the courtyard or in the lavender field, and we can have a discussion about certain topics. I think that will actually put you into more thinking and more, trying to absorb and trying to contemplate on the teachings rather than just hearing what I have to say. No?
Yeah.
Yes?
Sure.
Sure? Good.
Have a bit of both.
You will still hear me talk a little bit more. You'll still hear me talk a little bit more, but I really would like to be like a discussion group, and I think that will be a little bit more attractive for people. In a circle, yeah, and passing on something like that. Then you have to talk, or you say I'll pass. I think that would be great. That is actually that was actually my original intention, really to have a discussion group. So, would you like to do it on Tuesday evening, or would you like to do it on Saturday morning? Tuesday evening, even in the winter.
Well, we can't sit outside in the
Well, we can, but it won't be chilly.
It will be very cold. Yeah. That's good. Would the Zoom people would like to join in? Or should we just call it off, the Zoom people? Oh, Nora, you should drive up. You should drive to Chilliwack. Yeah. No more Zoom? No more Zoom. Dosensi said no more Zoom. But some of them are in the States. I think we could keep the Zoom. But you need to talk because the baton will be passed on to you too. I would say, I close my eyes. I would say the second TV on the second row and the second column. Who is that? Eva. KS? Then KS has to talk. You see? Okay. Or you can, if you cannot, oh yeah, I shouldn't pick. You guys should pick because you don't see those TV screen. You should pick. The third row, the fourth person has to talk. Who is that? Quark. Quark has to talk. Yeah, you see. So that's great. I think we should keep the Zoom going. You want to be on the Zoom, people? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Simi is in LA, and Catherine and Irene in Bay Area. Ma in North Vancouver, and Lei Yuhua is from Hong Kong, probably from Hong Kong. Yeah. So I think we will keep the Zoom on, but you need to talk. All right? Okay. Let me think of what the topic for next month. And I'll pass it on to you, and you will have to find books. You have to find articles yourself. Ooh, that's going to be difficult, but I'll give you some hints. Okay? I'll give you some hints to difficult, Lori?
Some people will find it challenging, but the challenge sounds good.
Challenge is an opportunity, right? Yeah, but I will, huh?
Self-development.
Exactly, bhavana, right? Okay, all right. Anybody have any questions about tonight? No? You like it? Good. All right. Okay, let us share our merits. May we share our merits to those, all beings, human, non-human, visible, invisible, big or small, far or near. All the merits and benefits that we have gathered tonight, may we share with them. May they be happy and be peaceful and be liberated from their sufferings. May we wish more and more people will encounter the wise words of the Buddha, study, understand, and then practice them, and help themselves to become a happier, more peaceful, a calmer person, and be ultimately free and happy and liberated. Okay, thank you for being here. Thank you for being on the Zoom.
Thank you.
And good night.
Thank you.
Good night. Good
Good
night.
night, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night. Good night. You can keep the book if you want, if you need.